Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and I'm so happy to announce I'm at the 95th Annual Texas FFA Convention, and look who I found in the lobby. I've been waiting for this interview for a long time. I have Jim Huang on the line, who is the president over at EXP Commercial. Hey, Jim, welcome to the show.
Adam, thank you. No, this is fantastic. When I came in, I found all this energy, the excitement, looking at everyone moving around. You know, you just feel it's just so exciting to be here.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm pumped. We're going to be talking today about a whole lot of things. I want to go through your background a bit. Also, you know, why EXP Commercials here? Why is EXP Realty representation important here? And maybe talk to some other corporate leaders out there. And of course, we have a book that we just released together. Yes. I'm so pumped. For everybody that's been watching this show for a while, you know we are promoting the very first edition of the Texas Leaders Edition. Of course, Texas had to have their own book, so we're going to talk about that as well. Well, Jim, hey, just to get us kicked off, you came out here. I believe this is your first year for the convention. Is that right?
Adam, it is, and it's truly exciting. You know, I've always been involved in children and youth's activities like the scouting. I was very involved in scouting. Also, a passion of mine is real estate. You know, that's why commercial real estate. And we always say real estate starts with the land. And one of the largest lands are agricultural, farmland, ranch land that you use, which is most of America. So really coming to this event, tying in with the youth, with land, education, and just helping our future is really important. And I would say that for any corporate leaders, we got to invest in our future, which is our children.
So EXP Realty, you coming out here is a big deal. Why did you feel it was important for EXP to be present?
Well, you know, like I said, EXP, we're the fastest growing real estate company, and we're worldwide, and it is important for us to show leadership with the children. We talk about land and the use of land, so it is important to be involved, to be present. I always told many of the leaders, you need to be present. You need to experience conventions, events. We all know with the metaverse, which is our company, we always say we use the metaverse, but without being present and seeing what's going on, feeling the energy, showing up and seeing what's happening, you can't really be there, right? Like when sometimes looking at the screen or watching TV through Zoom, right? We're all zoomed out. It really doesn't, you don't get the full experience. And by being present and seeing what's going on and being active, you got to be there. You got to be here.
So I've had the opportunity to be part of and on the Verbella platform through EXP Realty, and you mentioned technology. So I want to talk about that a little bit more. So how does technology really relate to some of the things that we're seeing here today?
Well, you know, technology touches all parts of our lives. We remember maybe 20, 30 years ago, technology started to come just mainstream. People remember, and I know you and I, Atari, where we all had to go to before arcade places, before we had consoles to play games.
For all the young kids out there, Atari is one of the early platforms, okay? Go ahead. I had to stop there just in case.
That was I remember the big December Christmas gift everyone wanted in the 70s. And from there, we started seeing technology advance. We started seeing the internet started coming out in the 90s. That was more mainstream. Most people in college now can't work without emails. They don't even understand how can you do things without email. Well, most of us, we grew up when there was no emails. There was no cell phones.
Whole lot of paper.
Whole lot of paper. and a lot of memorization. We were remembering 20 to 50 phone numbers in our head because we had to remember. There was no storing it on your phone, or maybe we wrote it in a little address book that we had to have. But then as the evolution started coming out with the internet, right, that started really changing. And then everyone started saying, do you have a website? What's a website? But now that is so commonplace to have a website and interactive, let's say in the 2000s, where the websites and plugging in and e-commerce started coming into this world, where most people would look at it and say, I can't believe I would buy something and give money over online and the package would show up at our door.
Oh, in the beginning it was like, is that a scam? Like, don't put your credit card in that site, or what's that all about? Like, in the very beginning.
Exactly, but I said, what the heck? So I actually went to buy something on Amazon, see if it showed up, and before it was a bookstore, before it became an everything store, and I would just say, I'm gonna try this out. So I actually bought something. I said, well, it didn't come over in 2 days.
Yeah.
It came in a couple of weeks, but it did show up. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And I remember in downtown LA, I was needing to get somewhere. I couldn't find a cab or a taxi. And this is when I first tried Uber,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this was so weird to order something online because I just said, okay, I'm gonna try this. And back then, it wasn't regular cars. It was limos.
Yeah.
It was the limo drivers that had some
For sure.
time before picking people up, and you did it. And I didn't even know how to pay them. So I had money trying to give them money in tip.
He's like-
They're like, no, we don't take that. But it's just watching the evolution of technology and growth of technology and data to a point right now. We always hear there was the metaverse,
Yeah.
which during the COVID time, lockdown time, that people needed to find other ways to interact, where Zoom and other mediums like social media and everything else started to really blossom. But with us in the metaverse, people started using other ways to interact because you still needed to find ways to do business, to
Yeah.
interact, to collaborate, to educate and teach. So through there, we saw another change to a point where we are now, where there's AI and ChatGPT. It is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is exciting, but it is also scary because it's evolving so quickly that everyone needs to plug in, and data and your information is so powerful. So I do encourage everyone to really understand this, to reach out, because it is a new technology platform that maybe a year or two it came out, but everyone should start learning because it's going to affect, like the internet,
Yeah.
which everyone uses, but now with AI, everyone's going to see how it's going to be useful in your life.
So one of the things that like I've had the pleasure to do is every year I come here, I just get a little bit more, let's just say, intelligent on agriculture, just a little bit. This year I learned the difference between when you say ranchers and farmers, different things, everything.
Yes.
I'm learning it all. But do you have any ties or like background in agriculture? Because I know you for obviously LA and other things, but talk to me about some agriculture. Like what?
Yeah, you know, it is important. So we know in California, we raise a lot of citrus, but also nuts in California. We have a lot of farmland. And it is a big difference, agricultural land to sometimes timber, to ranch and cattle. There is a big use. And with real estate, commercial real estate, with land development in infill areas. And we always see the path of progress where many places like Orange County used to be farmland.
Yeah.
And that's why it was Orange County. They
Yep.
used to grow oranges. But as time expanded, it became cities. But you should understand the value of the land, the ranch, cattle, land, agricultural, but how you can use it, embrace it, and how it expands. So when you are developing it, you're not overdeveloping it, you are not ruining the land, but how can you work together with it so you still have food production, ranch, I know there's, especially in Texas, oil and gas.
Yeah.
There's so many uses of land. So being in commercial real estate, I always say it always starts with the land.
Yeah. So I want to take a moment and let's talk to maybe some of the younger viewers out there today, specifically that maybe have thought about a career maybe in real estate, whether it's commercial or otherwise. Like, what would you say to that next group of budding entrepreneurs that are considering a career in real estate?
Get involved. Our commercial real estate is getting older. I remember going to many conventions like here at FFA, the commercial conferences, and I remember first starting, the average age of a commercial agent was 52 years old.
Wow. Did not
Now
know.
it's 62.
Really?
That means we're not getting younger people to come into the commercial
Wow.
real estate
A
field.
lot of opportunity. That's opportunity.
Tremendous
Yeah.
opportunity and a gap, because there's so much knowledge and connections and relationships in commercial real estate that's leaving. As we know, the baby boomers, people are retiring, but no one is replacing them at this time. It is so important, and many of the commercial real estate firms wants to educate younger people with internships, how you get involved, you know, some type of stipend to just teach people, whether it's transactional, whether it's leasing, whether it's business opportunities, whether it's development, capital markets and finance. There are so many parts of commercial real estate. It is not just as simple of one project like residential. Commercial touches everything. We do all of it, and we have the lack of youth entering into this new field. So there is an opening, and if you want to reach out, I know, Adam, you could give
Oh, yeah.
information, because I would always love to plug younger people in, whether you're in high school, people that are in college for internships, and those that are masters or higher degrees that want to get into commercial real estate and the aspects of commercial real estate.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we're here, so Mission Matters on site for the conference, is we're always recruiting. Like, we're looking at new talent. Like, we have Sean here, who's over in the background, who he was an intern that we brought in after he was a brand ambassador last year. And one of the things that I love about Texas FFA and the entire organization really is the leadership skills, the organization. Like, I won't give too much of the inside business notes that are going on right now, but let's say that these kids are making, and young adults are making real world decisions for their organization, and they're learning things, whether it's parliamentary procedure, whether it's like all these different things, but they're learning how to function in these ecosystems that do translate to their adult lives, and they put them, I believe, ahead for what's next.
Adam, absolutely. Just seeing what I'm observing, reading some of the signs, I'm very familiar, like I said, being in organized youth, like scouting, teaching responsibility, teaching how to organize, teaching how to run and inspire and encourage, learning skill sets, right? From an individual to running a team. These are all applicable skills. And you know what the biggest things too now? Interpersonal. How do you relate? So many kids and younger generation right now are using only social media. They're not interacting. They're not kind of giving people a hug, like being in person. They're using a technological medium to interact.
Yeah.
But seeing everyone here, they're interacting, they're talking,
oh
they're
my gosh.
communicating.
And if you've been watching this whole series, Jim just got here. He didn't watch some of the earlier things. We've been talking about this all week. Like, I've been looking around and you can see everybody's talking to each other. Like, everybody's not glued to their phone. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've never seen another group of kids like this.
No, it's truly amazing. And this is the skill sets that's really lacking. But this is going to be the very big competitive advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Human interaction, EQ, they got the IQ. They're learning a lot of leadership skills. They're learning everything that you do need in your adult life to be successful. Well, and I know because of the Houston rodeo and other rodeos that I've been to, FFA, teaching them responsibility, even raising a calf, raising something, taking responsibility, right? Doing things day to day, consistently, right? And then wanting to step up to lead and run organizations. But the others is public speaking, getting in front of it, organizing. These are really real world skills that people need to know and do and apply.
Now, you can't casually drop Houston rodeos and rodeos. I didn't even know you ever been to a rodeo. Tell me more about this. I've never been to a Houston rodeo.
I know it's one of the...
Everybody tells me it's huge and that's where I'm supposed to go, like everybody's told me, but you been?
I have been, and I love it. And many of my friends run some of the committees. I always told people, I got my boots, I got my hat, I got to get my silver belt buckle, so I got to volunteer, help out. But, it is tremendous. And going to the rodeo to see the auctions, you learn and get to know so much. Really good people, good environment to learn. So much fun also. So going to these rodeos and watching the kids really taking their calf, taking what they have worked so hard for, to auction it, and seeing how proud they are going through this and growing up through the process, but also just community, watching people interact. I always love, the family environment, the people getting together, helping each other, so it really makes me happy. It's like, old, Americana, right?
Yeah.
And it's really fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's one of the things I like about coming here too, is that for anybody that says, like, what's the future of our country look like, or what is the youth of today, any of those type things, come to a Texas FFA convention if you want to see what the youth of today are doing, because they're working hard, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're driven, and they're doing great work. Well, Jim, I just want to say, really appreciate you making some time out of your schedule. I know you just got here, you got a lot of things you got to do, but thanks for coming on the show.
Adam, I appreciate it, and I can just say from my experience watching FFA, the future is bright.
All right.